Here we go. Let's do this. Oh. Go get the item. And go get the... I should take this time. Clear repair. Pick on this nut really fast. Yeah. Is there... Oof. Now I could take it, but I couldn't. Nope. Mistakes made. Not paying attention. Ah. I hit B twice. Oh wait, there's a line there that I could drop on. I just saw that. Ah. Oh. Here we go. Landed on it. That is what I'm talking about. Oh. Ha ha ha. Yes. What a great item. Oh. Wow, that was some range. Oh, gosh darn it. Man, it's so quiet now. After getting that ring equipped. I don't need to hit the fire. Oh wait, I gotta absolve my sins. I'll come back when I have more.
Great. You are welcome anytime. It is.
I mean, I'll just take this fast travel. Whoop. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Nice. Oh my God. Hmm.
I'd bring a rocket launcher.
There you go.
Talking
All right. In 3 minutes, you have to start reading, okay? I'll say when you die. Because when you die is when the server's over, right? Huh? Okay. And I'll say, hey, do you hear me, my friend? When you die, we got to read the 2 sections, so that and the next one, okay? Get right into it. Hmm.
guys. Yes. Outside.
Mm-hmm. Oh. They try killing me. All right, game. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. Oops. Hmm. Oh. Hell, fire.
Well, you are a rare visitor. Welcome to the lost city of Anolondo, chosen undead. If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder. If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you.
Hmm. Oof. Oof. All right, I died. That's what I get for listening to Logan. I'm supposed to bring a Firekeeper soul to a Firekeeper, not just clench it. But usually it doesn't hold me wrong. I imagine it's that way in other games. Oh, been a while. Oof. All right. Oh. Oh well. my gosh.
Act 5, roof. And I have no healing items.
Silly mistake. Oh. Oof. I have to that one is crazy. There we go. That was for my pride. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. All right. I want to see what's over here. Then I'll go down. Oh.
Oh, I know why I'm reloading slow. Yeah. Walk speed minus 40%. Nice. Oh, me drone.
Mm.
Like, like, this was, like, it's all about.
Mm.
Oh, Corey. So,
Mm.
my currents, like, they have a chance to execute on this board.
Mm.
That's the ammo that's in the chamber.
Mm.
So, like, I just reloaded my ammo
Nice.
every time. Like, I'm just reloading it. It's like,
Nice.
wait, what? I still have another attack after.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, shop. Yippee.
Hmm. Hmm. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, I'm a silly goose. I can just walk up these stairs. Oh, wait, nope. Huh. Mm-hmm.
Wait, why do I have a duffel bag now?
This is getting really irritating. I don't know where to go. What's up? Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm probably easier with a final boss.
It makes
Kind of
makes
makes sense.
absolutely.
There has to be a final boss. Final boss of the game. Has to be honestly. Oh, how often? That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Hmm. Okay.
You gonna do?
Connection lost. That's just nice.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Thought it was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
that one foul. So I
Mm.
was looking at the words that came after it. This makes no sense. So I thought it. Like
Mhm.
the heat, but it's in reference to like fusion. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
Nihia means it became,
Hmm.
which made a lot more sense.
Want this? Oh, I have a rocket launcher. You don't want
Those are some weird outfits they got there.
Certainly true. Oh, I need to start swinging earlier so I can get him before he gets me.
What happens if you just step back first?
That's true. How about that better play?
You could try sniping someone.
Yeah, I just do a little damage. And so I save it for moments when it's like they're making this really hard right now. Like the person's oh, that made me vulnerable.
Just mid-screen.
I need a shield to parry though.
I love how you're just one-shotting.
Yeah, I'm
just
like
like-
5 shot
Pop.
never here.
This weapon is really great.
Which Dark Souls is this?
The first one. Oh, I got before. Huh? Like 1000 like back in PlayStation 3 era, so maybe 2003? Well, here, let's see.
PlayStation 3.
When was
That came out.
Dark Souls originally released? No, 2011. I'll say 2003. I had a PS2 and there was no PS3 yet. Whoa. Even better numbers.
I remember the PS2 came.
Hey, Corey. This is how you know I had a good run.
Oh, nice. All right. The heck? Hmm. Hmm? Okay, so I have to put that back too. Well, as I just got this new dark black iron. Right. Hydration, food. Oh, all right.
Not expecting her to be cutscene.
Yeah.
No.
It'll just done. You got to the end, it was just done.
No cutscene, no nothing.
Yeah. I hate that. Doesn't give you that satisfying itch, you
Yeah,
know.
it's like, I beat it. No, I
No.
didn't.
It's not like Killing Floor where you have like the ground pounder.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna read 2 sections, and whatever there's left, time, then we just game until we got bounce. All right. Just gotta read 2 sections. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's read our 2 sections.
What?
Do you want Ethan to guest read? Any at all? Okay. How about he does the scriptures and I do commentary? Like grade 2. Oh, no? Okay. King Jesus, your Holy One for amazing. I thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this time together. May our lives just worship you and just your delightfulness as we read the writings of the ancients and how they're working out where's life and all the death that the ancients experience. Actually, when we think of, especially the Book of Lamentation, who people have experienced such terrible trauma that I can't even imagine. That I don't want to imagine. And it's from their trauma, from being an exilic people that they have collected and beautifully fastened what we have here. And Jesus, while you're being under Roman occupation, you said all of this exilic writing points towards me. So please reveal to us how it points towards you and give us wisdom on how to navigate every day so we can be people of life like you are people of life. Like you are the person who makes us people of life. Amen. Jacob called his sons and said, "Gather together, and I will tell you what is to befall you in days to come. Assemble, listen, sons of Jacob, listen to your father Israel. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength and the firstborn of my vigor, excelling in rank and excelling in power. Turbulent as water, you will not excel, because you climbed into your father's bed, then you defiled it. He climbed my couch. Simon and Levi are brothers. Their pikes are violent weapons. May my person not come into their council. May my soul not join in their assembly. Because when they were angry, they slew someone. As they pleased, they humstrung an ox. Cursed by their anger because it is fierce, their outburst because it is ferocious. I will divide them in Jacob, scatter them in Israel. You are Judah. Your brothers will confess you. With your hand on your enemy's neck, your father's sons will bow down to you. Judah is a lion club. From prey, son, you have come up. You have bent down, lain like a lioness who will rouse him. The staff will not leave from Judah, the scepter from between his feet, until tribute comes to him and the submission of the peoples is his. He is one who ties his donkey to a vine, his donkey's offspring to a choice vine. He washes his clothes in wine, his garments in grape blood. His eyes are dark from wine, his teeth white from milk. Zebulun is to dwell toward the seashore, that is to be toward the shore for ships. His flank will be at Sidon. Issachar is a sturdy donkey lying among the sheepfolds. He saw a resting place, how good it was, and the country, how beautiful. He bent his shoulder to the burden, became a conscript servant. Dan is to govern his people as one of the clans of Israel. Dan is to be a snake by the road, a viper by the path, one that bites the horse's heel so that its rider falls backwards. For your deliverance I have waited, Yahweh. Gad, raiders will attack him, but he himself will attack their heel. From Asher, his food will be rich, and he will give a king's delicacy. Naphtali is a hind set free, who gives lovely fawns. Joseph is a fruitful branch by a spring, branches that run over a wall. Archers shot at him with ferocity and assaulted him, but his bow stayed firm, and his arms and hands were agile, because of the hands of the champion of Jacob, because the shepherd, the stone of Israel, was there, because of the God of your father, who helps you, and Shaddai, who blesses you, with blessings of the heavens above, blessings of the deep lying below, blessings of the breast and the womb. Your father's blessings have been stronger than the blessings of the ancient mountains. The bounty of the age-old hills, may they come on Joseph's head, on the brow of the prince of his brothers. Benjamin is a wolf who tears apart. In the morning he eats the prey, at the evening he divides the spoil. All these are the 12 clans of Israel, and this is what their father spoke to them when he blessed them, blessing each of them according to his blessing. All right, anything from Jacob and his blessings towards you?
Well, the thing that comes to mind is I heard recently the news that they found some artifact where it seems like it might be depicting a lot of these symbols all under a little. I don't know if it was a seal. It looks like it was some kind of decorative roll
Mhm.
thing where it leaves an imprint, but they think it might have a lot of these symbols on it.
Hmm. The symbols from this
Yeah, a lot of
blessing
them from this.
from
There's lion.
So just repeating. So they found a plaque where it had a lot of these.
It was some kind of plaque. I'm not sure
Those
exactly
symbols.
what it's called.
Mm.
It does have like some pieces missing from it, so I don't know if it's all the symbols on here, but I think it might have something to do with like this portion of
Eh.
scripture, just with the symbols that are present. Like there is
Interesting.
a snake, there's a lion, there's a bunch of water, like the ripples.
Hmm. Interesting.
Well, I'll have to look at it, but there's like an arrow pointing downwards as well. So
Hmm.
it's like there's a lot of symbols present that seem to
Communicate.
also be in that. But
Interesting.
it's like I think it's also from generally the same time period as well.
Really, from this time period?
From what I've heard,
That's crazy.
it might be a little bit later though, just because you know
Yeah.
if the symbols are given then, it's probably going to take a couple decades to centuries for it to develop.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can find a photo of it.
All right. Well, I'm going to start commentary. When you know you're going to die soon, it may concentrate the mind. You may see things more clearly. The poet Jason Schindler found his voice as a poet through the cancer that brought his death in middle age. His friends saw him as living in denial about his illness. Indeed, he wrote in a short poem that he had been avoiding his illness because he was afraid he was going to die. And when I do, I'll end up alone again, he wrote. Yet the poems he wrote during his illness brought him a kind of clarity about life. He is breathtakingly realistic about the fact that a few decades after we die, there will be no one left who knew us. Yet the hours are left for vanishing and also for joy and for blessing and gratitude. Jacob is the first of a line of Old Testament figures who deliver significant discourses when they are about to die. Moses, Joshua, and Samuel do the same. Jacob is distinctive for the way it appropriately speaks to his sons and to their descendants, the clans bearing his sons' names. Sometimes it speaks in the future because these are events that are yet to happen. Sometimes in the present or past because they are already real in Jacob's mind eye and in the experience of the clans. Once again, we can imagine the clans listening and find that Jacob's words answer questions they might ask. First, Jacob speaks of Leah's 6 sons. Reuben is the eldest brother, but his clan is a small one. Why? Reuben's attempt to bolster his position as his father's successor by sleeping with one of his father's wives has the opposite effect to the one he is seeking. Simon and Levi will be next in line for leadership. So why does Simon almost disappear and Levi get diverted into serving in the sanctuary? They disqualify themselves by their violent action against Shechem. That is why Judah, Jacob's 4th son, found himself the ancestor of the leading clan in Israel as a whole, the one from which David and the Davidic line will come, and thus the one who will see nations submitting to his authority and see his land astonishingly fertile, abounding in wine and milk. His name links with the word for confess or give thanks. See the account of his birth in Genesis 29. The description of Zebulun would give the impression that the clan's land was on the coast. Actually, it was only toward the Mediterranean, in the Jezreel plain, and on the way to Phoenicia, Sidon. Issachar's land lay to the west of Zebulun, with the advantage of... Okay. Issachar's land lay to the west of Zebulun with the advantage of enjoying the fertile Jezreel plain, but the disadvantage of this being an area where the Canaanites long remained strong. Issachar's clan will be subordinate to them, but the advantages of the area will make them not mind too much. Next are the 4 sons of Bilhah and Zilpah. Dan will be one of the small clans who will be forced to move from land next to Judah to a new home in the far north. Jacob's promises assure it that, as its name suggests, it will share in the rule of the clans as a whole. For all its apparent insignificance, it does count. His prayer takes off from the pressure it will be under. Something similar applies to Gad. There are similarities between its name and words for raid and attack. It will be located in a vulnerable position east of the Jordan. In contrast, Asher was settled in an area like Issachar that produces fine food. Naphtali will enjoy the freedom of the Gili Mountains. Finally, Jacob comes to Rachel's 2 sons. Not surprisingly, Joseph gets most space of all, slightly more than Judah. In the future, Joseph will be the main father figure for the northern kingdom, as Judah will be for the south. He'll be fruitful and a survivor, as we know already from his story. But this will reflect not just his personal resources, but the aid of Jacob's God, the one who grants blessing from above rain and below springs, keys to the land's fruitfulness. Jacob prays that the great blessing he himself has known will come on his favorite son. Little Benjamin then gets one line that recognizes the ferocity his clan will show in the stories that follow in the Old Testament. The importance of the blessing theme throughout Genesis makes it appropriate that this should be prominent as the book draws to an end, and the motif's importance to Jacob makes it an appropriate one for Jacob himself to emphasize. At the same time, the importance of fairness in Western thinking may make Jacob's differentiate blessings trouble to us, as it has raised questions at other points in Genesis. Why aren't all the brothers given equal, even if different, blessings? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that Jacob's blessings correspond to the way human life always works. Different people have more brain power or more physical skills, or live in more favorable climates or more peaceful times. For the brothers and for us, the question is what we do with what we have. All right. Anything you like from the commentary? Anything you like, Ethan?
To be fair, I was kind of looking at
The plaque?
to see if I could find the name of that artifact.
Yeah.
Still looking for it. I did find a photo of what it prints out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a like cylinder thing.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at,
It's a gold box.
I did hear like the last paragraph. The very
Hey,
last
Ethan,
Mm.
it's a
just
box
pointing
for
out
gold.
how it's, well, sort of. It's, I think it's copper. But anyway, one thing I did catch towards the end is that it's like the fairness of the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really seem too fair on some of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it does kind of make sense because you do see that Jacob favored,
Yeah.
Rachel
Yeah.
over Leia.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd expect to see a preference towards the children that came directly from
Yeah.
Leia. And so or not Leia, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you kind of see that with Benjamin and Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly which ones raised by or from Rachel's servant.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine that they didn't have as good of blessings, but probably still better than
I want to say is
Leia and her servant.
yeah. I'm trying to remember which two came from the servant. Right, here we go. The 4 sons of Bilhah and Zilpah. Yep. Yep. So these are the servants. So 4 sons of Bilhah and Zilpah. So you got Dan. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's something. It's hard. I'm so thankful that the scriptures are showing this is all Jacob who is speaking this. And so it's like the writers are definitely using some of these to show kind of where the story is going to go between each clans. But then it's also showing the human agent of just how Jacob was. And yet, again, like in through this, and I think it's beautiful, is through this, yet he's going to bless the nations. So it makes me think of actually the parable of the talents now, is one got 10, one got 5, and one got 1. It was just, join me in your blessing, just, and that was a combination towards Israel, because then the servant buried the talent, like at that time they're burying the temple, not being a blessing in life. And that's just actual life. We each get our different allotments. It's not like cancer really puts you at a quick rate of high living as a child.
Yeah, it was interesting getting dealt that like right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice though because that is an experience that has kind of helped with contemplating some more theologically deep
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah.
Which has also allowed for better opportunities of like sharing about God,
Mm-hmm.
especially for my mom, who's present for all of it.
Yeah.
Like mentally, I was a kid, so I didn't really know anything. Didn't really understand what was going on.
Wait here. I'm going to start giving you Where's microphone for these times. Here we go.
Beans.
Didn't hear you say beans that time, but you can say it again.
Beans.
And also,
You know what's sad is I'm learning Hebrew, and I don't know the word for beans yet. So I'm gonna have to learn that.
So something I just noticed is I don't know where this other receiver's at.
Well, the receiver.
Um,
What is
the receiver. Oh wait, it's what I plugged into. That's right. I think I plugged into this computer. Back when. There it is. Woo.
Are we reading 2 and 1?
2.
Wait, why 2?
It's because, well, I said when we were talking there, but pretty much you had 2 hours back there with the extra time with that game. And so you're 1 in debt, and then there's the reading for the next one. If you want to start now, then you just be putting debt again for this current section, and we'll just start at 5. Well, I was about to start reading at 5. But you also did say that you want to go back, so that means we just got to read, and then we can see what your mom said.
Yeah, we read 2.
Okay, well, we start. He instructed them. I said, I'm going to join my kin. Bury me and my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite. The cave that is in the field at Machpelah, which is east of Mamre, in the country of Canaan. The field that Abraham acquired from Ephron the Hittite as a burial holding. There they buried Ephraim and his wife Sarah. There they buried Isaac and his wife Rebekah. There I buried Leah. So the field and the cave that is in it acquired from the Hittites. Jacob finished instructing his sons and drew his feet into the bed, breathed his last, and joined his kin. Joseph fell on his father's face and kissed him. Joseph instructed the physicians who were his servants to embalm his father. When the physicians embalmed Israel, they took 40 days for him, because that is how they complete the days for embalming. Interesting. 40 days for embalming. I wonder if that's, I'm just thinking out loud, I wonder if that's expressing, some sort of exilic death going through.
Well, I think embalming was reserved for people of great importance.
Yeah. But then the fact that this is Israel who's experiencing it, a 40-day embalming, which we know 40 is the number of exile. We're just seeing that connection. I don't know if that connection, it's just something that the writers can most likely are winking, but
Could be. Or it could just be how long it takes to actually do the process.
So I'm just going to have to sit and sip some tea and think about it. They took 40 days because that is how they complete the day for embalming. The Egyptians wept for him 70 days. And when the days of weeping for him had passed, Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's household. If I find favor in your eyes, will you speak in Pharaoh's ears and say, my father himself got me to swear, now I am going to die. In the tomb that I dug for myself in the country of Canaan, there you are to bury me. So may I now go up and bury my father and come back. Pharaoh said, go up and bury your father as he got you to swear. So Joseph went up to bury his father. All Pharaoh's servants went up with him, and the senior people in his household, all the senior people in the country of Egypt, all Joseph's household, his brothers and his father's household. Only the little ones and their flocks and their cattle did they leave in the region of Goshen. Both chariots and horsemen went up with them. It was a very large company. They came to the threshing floor at Atad, which is beyond the Jordan, and held a very great and solemn lamentation there. He observed 7 days of mourning for his father. The Canaanite inhabitants of the country saw the mourning at the threshing floor at Atad and said, this is a serious mourning on the part of the Egyptians. Hence it was called the mourning of the Egyptians, which is beyond the Jordan. So his sons did for him as he had instructed them. His sons transported him to the country of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field at Machpelah, the field that Abraham acquired as a burial holding from Ephraim the Hittite, east of Mamre. Joseph went back to Egypt, he and his brothers and all the people who had gone up with them to bury his father, after they had buried his father. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, "What if Joseph feels hostile to us and really gets back at us for all the wrong that we did to him?" So they gave instructions to Joseph. "Your father gave instructions before his death. Say this to Joseph: Will you forgive your brothers' affront and their offenses because they did wrong to you? So will you now forgive the affront of the servants of your father's God?" Joseph wept when they spoke to him. His brothers also came and fell before him and said, "Here are we as servants to you." Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? Whereas you yourselves intended wrong for me, God intended it for good, so as to act today to keep alive a numerous people. So now, don't be afraid. I myself provide for you and your little ones." Thus he comforted them and encouraged them. So Joseph lived in Egypt, he and his father's household. Joseph lived 110 years, and saw the third generation of Ephraim. The children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were also born on Joseph's knees. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am going to die, but God will definitely deal with you and take you up from this country that he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob." Joseph got the Israelites to swear, "God will definitely deal with you, and you are to take up my bones from here." So Joseph died at the age of 110. They embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. All right, anything you liked? Anything you liked?
Hebrew. So yes,
Yes, the Hebrew. I do find it weird that he translated it there as the mourning of the Egyptians instead of just leaving it as the untranslated. I think it's like Bel Nitaim.
Bro, nobody cares about Hebrew.
I care about Hebrew.
Nobody else cares.
All right.
9 million other people care about Hebrew.
You don't live there, so how about you?
Oh, I want to live there. Anyway, the other thing that I've heard is that the embalming practice was done with a bunch of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually took, I did a quick search online, but it takes 20 to 70 days for the embalming process, which I believe also included taking the organs out and putting them in special jars. I don't know if they did it in this case.
Mm-hmm.
They could have, but it was a long process. It is also interesting seeing like the just like the mourning process, because like I don't know if it says it in there, but they mourned for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also had this massive
They
people
mourned
group that
for-
came up to the spot. So it's like
They
all
wept for,
the
for 70 days. Yeah.
all the people in the area probably saw it and they're like, yeah, this dude was important.
Mm-hmm. So the thing we could say about Jacob, though, too, is Yahweh promised them the land.
Mhm.
So he wanted his bones to be back on the land. So I will make the argument that I really believe that Jacob believed and saw the resurrection.
Mhm.
As if you have God's blessing, his Eden blessing, the renewed Eden blessing is going to happen, then he believed that was going to be done in the promised land.
I mean, yeah, he also had, Isaac, who, lived with Abraham, who got the original promise, but then the reconfirmation of that promise to Isaac. But then also, Jacob got a reconfirmation of that process, but all it says, to your offspring, I will give this land as an eternal possession. So I'd assume that there was some relaying of information that there would be a resurrection, because you can't really have an eternal possession if you're not alive to see it.
Yeah. It's also, now I even think about resurrection, it's like going through the exile, the 40 days exile. It's hugely connected, then on the other end there's number 7. It's like complete. So I man, that you just want to start in the commentary? Okay. A year or two ago, the Roman Catholic Archbishop of Los Angeles, Cardinal Roger Haney, was attacked one night near the cathedral. According to reports that surfaced somewhat later, he was punched, knocked to the ground, and kicked. But these reports did not emerge at the time because he did not report the assault, but later spoke of it in an address to the priest in his diocese, which was how the news got into the press and on TV. When you have been wronged, you want justice. Cardinal Mahoney, who was in his 70s at the time, might not have been able to get back at his assailant. One might have expected him to report the attack to police, but he knew the likely background to the man's attack, an indication at sexual abuse by priests, and thus did nothing. Joseph's brothers knew it would be natural for Joseph to want justice, though the plans they hatched to avoid his taking justice is laughably pathetic. Joseph does not even point out how patent are their lies. It is as well for his brothers that he has this totally other framework for looking at events. I don't know that Cardinal Mahoney articulated the awareness that he was not in God's place, that getting justice was not his business, but would be an implication of his inaction. He carried the man's wrongdoing. That is the literal meaning of the word for forgive. The word Abraham uses in Genesis 18 in urging God to carry Sodom's wrongdoing. When we forgive someone, we take responsibility for the effect of their wrongdoing and its consequences. Even though the responsibility really belongs to them, we refuse to let it have the effect that it logically should have. There is not much indication that the brothers feel contrite about the wrong they did. Their dominant feeling is simply fear for their own future. What if Joseph relates to them in the way they relate to him? But notwithstanding the way he may have been trying to drive them to repentance earlier, Joseph does not ask himself questions about whether contrition is a necessary condition for forgiveness. He knows he must carry their wrongdoing, as he has been doing for most of his life. If there is some ambiguity about the way he treated them earlier, there is none here. It is as well for the brothers that there is this other element in Joseph's framework for looking at events. They intended wrong for him, but God intended it for good so as to keep the family alive. Joseph restates the point he made in chapter 45. He does not imply God planned for the brothers to do what they did. Maybe God did, but he does not say that. It would be an odd thing for God to do. God would surely be able to plan something that involved less suffering. What the story more likely illustrates is that God can take a negative human intention and turn it into something that can have positive effect. When people talk about God's doing that in their lives, they often refer to God's bringing good in a person's life out of a wrong done to one person or out of something regrettable that happens. Joseph points to a bolder one. Through something wrong done to him, God did something good for others. The supreme example is the story of the wrong done to Jesus. In Joseph's story, in Jesus' story at least, it is on the large scale, in events that have universal implications, that God coolly takes the most wicked of human acts and turns them into acts that can achieve something. It does not happen all the time, but God can make it happen. So Genesis comes to an end, as I know in the introduction of this book. Its end is a little like the end of a series, one of a drama on TV. Genesis comes to a semicolon and a question mark, not a full stop or period. The stress on Jacob's blessing in these chapters suggests that God's promise to Abraham and his descendants has found some fulfillment. Here, the Egyptians' astonishing recognition of Jacob's importance suggests more fulfillment. The comment on Jacob's family indeed being a numerous people suggests yet more, but the note that Joseph's family is still in Egypt, as are Joseph's bones, makes clear that not all is fulfilled. Paradoxically, the stress on Jacob's burial in Canaan, along with members of his family, also emphasize this lack of fulfillment. They all rest in the promised land. Joseph and his brothers do not. The scriptwriter wants us to come back in the fall to find out what happens next, how the rest of God's promise find fulfillment. Fortunately, we live after the rest of the series has been shown, and we can download it straight away. That is, we can turn over the page in Exodus. All right, anything you liked?
No.
Anything you liked?
Nah, I think I'm good.
You know, it's crazy cool how much it has Eden, a whole bunch of Eden cards in this. When they were in the Goshen, there were numerous, which is was the call from Yahweh to Adam and Eve to be numerous and fill the earth. And then Goshen, I think it means it has even the name Goshen has like the word itself has some sort of garden or fruitfulness connection, some sort of Eden connection.
I think I had heard that there's like another translation that where it says like Geshem or something like that, which Geshem is literally the word for rain. So there is a idea of it being a fertile land.
Yeah. And so here's a temporal Eden connection, which this garden of Eden, like here's the first city that we see where life happened numerously when the leadership yield to Yahweh. And now we're going to turn to the next page, and that's when the next leadership is going to be on that. All right. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. Whoever boss is here, I'm gonna have to deal with another day. It's been great. Peace of King Jesus be with you. Love you guys.